Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Art Therapy Thursday and we're going to finish this lovely little lady. This is of course Mariola Budek, and the name of the picture is Bird Feeder, and this is available in Cutesy Christmas from Coloring Heaven magazine. Alright, so what we're going to do today is we're going to do the background and we're going to put in a couple of embellishments on her outfit. And yeah, so what we're going to do first is we're going to do the background and get it done. We're going to do a very basic background. We're just going to do a blue sky and of course green on the ground. So I have the Mementos ink pads here. So it's a dewdrop ink, and this one is called Mementos. It is a summer sky. Go figure. So I'm just loading up my ink pad, and we're just going to start up in the corner, and we're going to work the ink into the picture. Now you can do this directly from the pad if you choose. My ink pad doesn't seem to be wanting to work very well, so I like my other ones better. I just thought this one was kind of a pretty color. It's okay, it's going to give us that light blue for the sky. Try not to get any on the birdie's tail. And I'm just going to build up that color because it's not giving me any other options. If this one doesn't start giving me more color, I will probably go to the other one. The other one seems to have more ink in it, and this one's a brand new one, so it should technically have more ink. But I think it dried out, which is weird because I can see the ink come up when I press on it. So I know the ink is there. It's just saying, no, I don't want to come off of my pad. I want to be here. And it's giving it that light, dark, splotchy sky look, which isn't too bad. I don't mind that. However, I do mind it when it goes completely dry within seconds. Now, when you're using an ink pad like this, sometimes it's good to blot your ink just to make sure you don't get a heavy area. But with this background, I'm not too worried about it. I actually don't mind having the heavier areas. And you gotta remember this is going to dry fairly quickly, so it's not going to be movable. Well, it moves with water, but it's not going to be movable with your ink pad once it's down on the page. I think it also depends upon if the page is thirsty or not. And this page seems to be thirsty. Get into those little areas there. Trying not to change the color of the pencil. And down to the ground area. I'm just getting really light as I get down to the ground so that we can add that green into it. All right. Now, just going to battle it out with this pad because it doesn't seem to be doing too badly. It's got a little bit more on the edge there. And I'm just going in little flicks on the edge of the ink pad here, getting that ink to go into the smaller areas. You can of course use a brush for this or the very tip of your ink pad because it's got a good tip to it for that. I find that I end up with more splotches if I do that, so I don't like doing that. But that's a personal preference. Not saying that you can't do that. I'm just saying that I don't personally like doing that. Just trying to get into all of those little areas that you're still going to see sky behind her without getting any on her. Or the bird. The great thing is that if you do get a little bit on them, you can erase it a little bit. Alright. I think this ink pad is dried out. Which, like I said, it's a brand new ink pad, so it kind of drives me a little crazy. And I do believe the mementos are the ones that are able to be moved with water. So if you spritz this, you can definitely add some water drops and stuff like that to it to give a good texture. I have not played with that a whole lot because it scares me. But I do know people that do that. Trying not to touch the paper that I'm putting the ink down on too much because it will pick up fingerprints. Especially if you're like me and have very oily hands. I have not found a good solution for that other than just don't touch it. Put your hands where you don't want your fingerprints to be, or where you don't want the ink to be so your fingerprints don't go on it. Alright, so we're almost done with the sky here, and as you can tell, it doesn't take very long. It's just being patient, which if you're a colorist, you're already patient because it takes patience to put the color on the page and make it all pretty. If you're a new colorist, you will learn to be patient. Because believe me, when I was a new colorist, I would not have done this. It would have bugged me that it was taking so long. I would have used chalk and called it a day because chalk is so quick. But I do like the effect this gives with the light and darks. This ink pad, however, is irritating me a little. And this is just a finger dauber ink pad. And I'm just swirling it in circles. I'm getting as much of that ink off the pad as I can. And blending it into the paper. We're going to use Liquid Pearls, which is a Ranger ink product for the snowflakes I'm going to put on her outfit. And we're going to use a silvery white pearl color just to make it pretty. And I'm going to do that pretty much the same way that I did with the gelatos, using a rubber spatula just to press it into the one sec, brain's not working. Into the stencil. I was trying to concentrate and speak at the same time. And sometimes that just doesn't work out. Words are hard, people. Words are hard. Especially when you're trying to do something else. These small fiddly areas that get me all discombobulated. You have to be a little more careful when you come up around the edges on doing it in circles because you can end up crinkling your page. Now I'm doing this on cardstock, so if you're doing this on regular paper, like in a coloring book or something, I would suggest that you do very small areas and you hold on to the edges of the page. Otherwise, you will end up with a ripple in your page. Again, trying not to put my hand where I'm going to put the ink, because I do have I have a lot of oil in my skin. So I have found that I do end up leaving fingerprints all over everything, which is annoying. Now we're just coming up to the area where I want that grass to be. Okay, so there is the skyline behind her in the birds. Now we're going to switch on over to our darker green, and we're going to put some shadows in. Now this is the luxury water drop, and these are chalk inks, so they're not as clear. They have a bit of a pastel-y, chalky look. But they do have a lot more ink in them than. Now I'm not doing a heavy coating anywhere but around the shadowy areas. I'm just getting lighter as I move it out. And then we're going to use another green for the lighter areas. Alright, just going to lighten that up. And we're going to come out behind him here. Like so. And I think it needs a bit of blue there behind his little feet. Alright, and then we're going to take our next color of green. That one was called Tea Leaves. This one is called kiwi or key lime. Not kiwi, key lime. And it is also one of the water drops. And I like them because they have a lot of ink. Like, I've had these for years and they're still not dried out. This one here I've had for less than a couple of months and it's all dried out. So this is just going to be a light green. Yellowy light green. We're just going to go up into the skyline with it. Same with over here, up into the skyline with it. And there we have our ground. Let's finish this off up to the edge. Alright, so I'm not going to go down any further than that so that I have a place to put my fingers while doing the other thing. So I have a bottle of liquid pearl. This one is the platinum pearl. And I have a little tiny stencil. We're going to use this one here. And we're going to put this right here on her jacket. And I'm going to use this little guy, hopefully. Let's see. Yeah, it'll work good. I practiced with the larger one, but I found that it was a little bit cumbersome and it wiped further than I wanted it to. So it ended up giving more of the other detail. So I've put it on the bottom of my thing here. And I'm just going to wipe it in to all those crevices. And this gives me a little bit more control over which one's going to end up with the stickles in it. Make sure that you hold your, let's just do this here. Hold your stencil down so that you don't end up with a large amount of material slipping under it, because that's what gives you the mess, is if you get the material under it. Alright, now we're going to gently lift that up. Like so. And it has put a little tiny snowflake there. Now we're going to do another one here on, well, let's turn it this way. We're going to do another one here on her arm. And try not to get into that other one. Now I'm not going to do all of it. I'm just going to do a part of it, because this part here is going to be in the wrinkle of her arm. So I'm just going to put some here. Sometimes putting it on the end works well. Sometimes it works better if you just put it right on the stencil. And then we're going to lift it up. And then we're going to put one up here on her hat. Like right here. And we're going to do a full one there. Actually, maybe I want to, let's put one little one here as well. We're just not going to put it all the way down, because his little nose is going to cover it. So we're only going to go down to where his little nose is. So again, going to put it all up here. And we're just going to drag it down to about there. And then we're going to lift it up. Like that. Now we're going to do one up here. I've still got quite a bit on my, just trying not to lift it up. Well, is that just concentrating? Trying to make sure that I get everything into the little holes. And we're going to lift it up like that. And anywhere that I feel, no, it's fine. The birdie's foot's not in the way there. All right, and then one more down here. And then lift it up. Maybe. Come on. Okay, there we go. Didn't want to lift up. Now I'm going to lift some of this up here just to have that shadow show through. So it looks a little darker. All right, now we're going to put one on her mitten as well, right here on the back of her mitten. Trying not to put my finger into any of the wet stickle. And we're going to lift it up like so. And there we have our little snowflakes. Maybe I should put snowflakes everywhere. But too much is too much, so let's not do too much. I did have a thing of paper towel. Where did it go? I have lost my paper towel. I think the dog ran off with it. Nope, I put it over there. Oh. Just wiping off my tool so that it doesn't dry on there. Not that stickles are hard to get off, but you know. And there we have our little picture. Now there's a couple of different things that we can do just to give a little bit of enhancement to the picture. We can add some glitter to, as you can probably see now, the snowflakes are going to have that pearly sparkly look. Now if I wanted to, I could wait for this to dry and then add a little bit of sparkle to it with some sparkly stickles, or if I had some glitter, I could add a little bit of glitter to it. Now I could add glitter everywhere else, like I could add glitter on his scarf, on the bow, but I really don't think it needs it. The outfit was a little, it's adorable, but was a little plain, so I wanted to put the snowflakes on it. And I think it did okay. Just making sure I didn't get any on the puppy dog, because the puppy dog is in front of. So I'm just lifting up a little tiny bit that got on him. There we go. And of course, Shyla has taken this opportunity to sneeze her little head off. All right, guys, so that is it. It is finished. Hopefully this was educational, entertaining, and at least fun. The background is done with very simply with two different colors of green, the darker green down here in the shadows. And it's not a huge amount of darker green, like it's not as words. It's not a lot darker than the other green I used. It's just a smidge darker so that you can see that there's a shadow there. We've also added some embellishments to her little mitten and her jacket and hat. And that was it. Everything else was done during Monday and Wednesday streams. And if you want to see all of the coloring work done, watch Monday night stream and Wednesday night stream, and that is where we are coloring her. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed the coloring of this wonderful little princess and her beautiful little friends. Merry Christmas, and always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. And never forget to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.